Yeah, that's what always attracted me to marketing as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
that's why I'm actually specializing in strategy and innovation as well.
Mm-hmm.
And well, yeah, that's what attracted me to marketing in the first place. Was just the ability to be so creative. Because I do have that aspect of an analytical mind where, you know, very useful in finance and just all aspects of life.
Mm-hmm.
You can look at the facts and determine what's the most efficient outcome, which is very important. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Hey guys, welcome back to the Way Podcast with your host Sojin Murwar. Today we have a very special guest, a fellow Rotman Commerce student, William Wu. William, why don't you introduce yourself to the viewers?
Hello everyone, my name is William and I'm third year management student focused on innovation and strategy. And how I met Sujin, it was one night, a gloomy night, and that we got the same group project, so we were assigned the same group. This is the guy got some fancy mic and the podcast going on.
Oh yeah, man.
And I was like, deep in my heart, I know, this is the guy to go with. This is the guy gonna give me an A plus on the course.
We didn't get an A. No, I'm joking.
Wait, really?
No, I think we did.
Yeah,
I think we did well.
We did get an A.
I ended up, at least in the end, I got an A.
Yeah,
I don't know what we got. Did we get our mark back for the project ever?
I don't
I don't
so.
think
That's
we
the
did.
last project, yeah. But I still get a A, so it's pretty good.
Yeah, I was happy about that too.
A few of my interests. Well, I like to use skateboard and like to celebrate creativities in life, like arts or formal arts. And recently in my work as well, trying to use the innovations existing innovations to apply to businesses and also student affairs as well. That's pretty much about me for now.
Cool. Yeah, so like William and I, we actually just made dinner. Like I made 25 chicken legs, and he took out the biggest pot I've ever seen in my life, and he made some braised ribs.
Yeah.
It was super good though. It was very delicious.
I felt the same way as well. We can like, keep the tray going.
Yeah, every time we come over to film, we cook beforehand for much longer than we expected, and then we film together. But
yeah, when life gets busy, sometimes we just need to have the meal preps going on. So.
Yeah, we're doing big meal prep.
This is economic, isn't it? The tray. What's the terminology for it? But I completely forgot about it.
For what? For economic.
Competitive advantage.
Yes.
Like the willingness to pay, whatever that is.
Yeah.
You will have like the lowest willingness to pay if you have the same meals for 5 days. And you have
Exactly.
something different at the last 2 days with tray, and then that benefits everybody. So.
Exactly. Economics applied to real life.
Economics.
Applied to real life, dude. It's not all in school, but yeah. So, like, I wanted to have William on because he's always so interested in
Really?
filmmaking and just creative stuff in general. And you know, as somebody who is also interested in those different things, like it's nice to talk to somebody else who's kind of like-minded in that way. And yeah, so we're also on the same committee together. Well, not the same committee, same club. The RCAG, Rotman Commerce Arts Group. I'm on the events committees and the marketing committee. And it's like a super awesome club. I'll shout them out. You know, something will pop up here or there or somewhere. I'll put something up. But yeah, William, when you joined last year as well, right?
Right.
Yeah. So me and William joined last year, and it's just been a great experience so far. William has made some you guys gotta check out his studies. If you're at UFT and you want to check out like some really good study spots, he made this. How long were you filming that for? Like I remember you doing that in late summer.
That's right.
Right?
I think it took me around 50 hours.
Yeah.
Because I have to get the footage from all of the locations.
How many places did you go?
I think it's around 7 places.
Yeah. And you spent like a good amount there.
And because I want to film the library, and it's usually not allowed when there's people there, and it's very rude to film somebody without permission. So here's what I do. That's why it took me so long. For every single day, I planned at the very early before the library even opened. I just sit there. Yeah, I just like sit there and then wait for the library to get open. As soon as the door opens, I walk in there. Nobody's there. I have such a free space.
Yeah,
to
you're there. It's
film
like
and
8 in the
everything.
morning.
Yeah, and I think that's summer too, so it's even less people over to like doing anything over there. Normally, just like the staff asking me what I'm doing, and then so I'm filming for a study places for U of T. Fine, let's go.
Yeah,
And then I'm able to go there, and it took me around like 5. Every locations took me like a day, so I have to go there very early in the morning,
Yeah.
and that makes me, in a way that it keeps a healthy habit for me to wake up early, I guess. Because
Especially in summertime.
especially in summertime, it's incredible difficulty for me to wake up early and then have a healthy sleep schedule. But that project kind of helps me a little bit and find something to do as well. I was doing my summer courses, and it was a really light workload.
Yeah.
So it's a fun side project, and that video got me the jobs at Innovation Hubs. That's out of such a surprise.
I mean, you totally deserved it. If you guys
Yeah.
have seen it, the video will be like I'll pop a little something up maybe right here. It's really well done. Like you put a lot of work into it, and it just dropped like a few weeks ago on our
Appreciate it.
RCAG
Yeah.
Instagram. Check us out, RC Arts Group on Instagram. And yeah, it was super cool. Is that like what other aspects of marketing really like that kind of? Do you like filmmaking, graphic design? Like what's something that you is if you had to choose one to focus on, what would it be?
I think what inspired me at the very first play is the ads from Apple. The ads for Apple, they're just extremely creative.
Yeah.
Like a short story. Sometimes I would go to YouTube to just like watch them without letting them appear in my life. But it was the ads, I think, from around 5-6 years ago for the AirPods, for the HomePods. Hiring those actors, doing very conceptual, and a little bit more sci-fi stuff going on out there, and the technique that they used to film, and then the set that they built, it's just so creative. It was one of my dream jobs for a long time. Well, before third year, I was always trying to be a video director or something that makes some like cool video for a company. I guess that's where my inspiration like from. What was your question again?
I was saying like if you had to choose like one part of that kind of marketing thing, so like obviously you filmed. What aspect of marketing that do you really like? And especially, well, not just marketing, advertising in general. So, like, do you like film, like making short clips and short stories, or is it like the graphic design or the writing of the project? What would you say is your favorite?
I think definitely like video making, because it involves a lot more hands. I really practiced my skill from like researching, planning, script writing, editing, animating at the end.
Yeah.
And it's a really nice way. I'm not at the very high level yet, and it's such a nice way to express creativity. It's in all ways, and there's just so many combinations, the music choice and the film techniques of like different angle of the cameras, or what you're saying, how do you structure the whole things. It's linked back to my inspirations that I really want to make those creative, innovative videos that have never been seen before or have never been done before in the Rotman student group.
Yeah.
So I enjoy the creativity of the marketing sides. Even for graphic design, same things, anything that's involved using my creativity, I feel that's a really nice balance for my life. That's why I joined RCAG as well.
Yeah.
Because I specialize in innovation and strategy, and I have all the variety courses. It's very like report or cases based, or a lot of like written stuff, as well as the econ, finance, all the mandatory that we have to take those type of papers. It's very hard to show the creativity that we always follow like students, at least for now, for all my courses. All my interesting courses happen in this semester and the next year. But before that, it was everything we follow like sort of plans or formats, and then we just write things down. Even for the research, there's not much creativity there. You just go online, search for like a couple hours, and then summarizing the things down, citations, and I celebrate creativity for marketing.
Yeah, that's what always attracted me to marketing as well. Like that's why I'm actually specializing in strategy and innovation as well. and like those two kind of ideas.
Oof. Sorry about that, guys.
Oh no,
Yeah,
Siri, Siri's taking over, bud.
Let me just turn it off. Do not disturb.
Yeah, that's fine. No worries.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, that's what attracted me to marketing in the first place. Was just the ability to be so creative. Because I do have that aspect of an analytical mind where, you know, very useful in finance and just all aspects of life.
Mhm.
You can look at the facts and determine what's the most efficient outcome, which is very important, right? That's every part of business is that.
Mhm.
But
I agree.
like marketing gives you the opportunity to express your creativity through many different mediums. Like right now, we're doing a podcast. There's a video portion. There's an audio portion.
Mhm.
I make a thumbnail. That's like a graphic design portion, and
Mhm.
it allows me to practice all these different things and really express myself while also, you know, giving me the freedom to provide for someone else. Like for me, when it comes to what I want to do later, it's kind of up in the air. But I want to do something within marketing for sure. I just like especially working closely with businesses and small clients, and just trying to really help them spread the message that they actually want to spread.
Mhm.
Because I feel like every place, every business has a story, and if you're able to capture that through film or through design or whatever it may be, you can really, you know, connect with the consumer, and they stop becoming consumers or customers, and they're just people,
Mhm.
right? One thing I learned from one of my courses was the behavioral economics and marketing course.
Mhm. How was it?
Very good course. I would recommend it. RSM 450 with Professor Ned Welch. It was very, I guess, psychology focused, more the psychological aspect of marketing,
Mhm.
and they took obviously a behavioral economics point of view, so using a lot of studies and economics concepts. But the thing with behavioral economics, the whole idea of is that it reverts against the common economic principles of, you know, the rational consumer. You know, this behavioral economics does the opposite. It says that, you know, in real life most people are irrational. They'll wait in line for something that they have already paid for. They don't think about sunk cost. You know, there's so many different things that go into people's decision making,
Mhm.
and that's what that course really taught me. And it taught me that sometimes you can't always just look at the big picture. You also have to look at the smallest, minute interactions that can help influence somebody. So, like, instead of, because the big picture is important, but when you look at the small picture as well, you have to have both perspectives. Because if you just look at the grand scale, then you don't actually see the person that you're trying to target. Right? Because if you think about, for example, if you go to grand scale with targeting our age group, right? Whatever, 18 to 24, let's say. If you go to grand scale with it, you might just assume, okay, our generation is obsessed with their phones, only likes this kind of video, they like these, you know, whatever is popping on TikTok at the moment, like this is what every kid likes, and this is how we're going to market our product. But then they don't realize that we're very diverse in our opinions, just like every group of people are.
Mhm.
So sometimes it might work for a bit, but also if you want to have longevity, you have to really understand your the person you're trying to reach with your message.
Mhm.
And that's what that course taught me. And that's one aspect of marketing I really like, is understanding a segment and trying to figure out how those people work, right? Because it's very personal. Like something like this where we're talking, I get to learn different perspectives in a casual kind of scenario.
Mhm.
And then I can replicate that on a grand scale when trying to understand interactions, like why aren't these consumers buying this product? Why aren't they responding this way? I can think of it like, oh, maybe this thing, like maybe it's on the right part of the shelf. That's why they're not buying it.
Mhm.
Or maybe they don't like the color, this color. Maybe this color is perceived as something else than we're trying to convey, right? Like writing in red. like writing everything in red ink in North America is like not a good thing, right?
Yeah, there's actually very interesting like things in design that I know. From the book I read, that the use of color is very important for advertisements in one way that color can convey messages. For example, for food, most of the like fast food restaurant that you notice is like red, yellow, like almost none of those using like the cold or cooler colors. Some of them using green, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Like, for example, you imagine this is a picture frame, and then you put your food there. If you put the red, it's very appetizing.
Yeah.
It kind of like arouse people to go buy that. But when you put like a blue background with the foods in the middle of it, it conveys a different messages, and
it's very interesting.
And then I will probably won't just looking at it. I don't have to advertise for it, and then to go out there and buy. Yeah, that's one thing that I learned from somewhere else.
It's so interesting when you learn these things, and you can even observe it in yourself. Because we learn in that behavioral economics course, we learned so much about how people act, how they don't actually do what they say. 95% of people never do what they say. They just act as they do, you know?
Yes, I can relate to
You know
that.
what I mean? Like that's what. And then when it happens to you now, like especially for me, when it happens, I'm like, wait, this is that principle we talked about during class, you know?
Wow.
And it literally applies to real life. Like the whole thing of behavioral, the behavioral economics approach to marketing is the whole nudging, right? Nudging is essentially you want to push your consumer towards a certain choice without directly influencing them. So it's like you want, for example, a nudge would be, so there's these kids in this school, they go to the convenience store and they keep on eating junk food. And then the school wants to stop the kids from eating so much junk food. So a nudge would be, instead of having the junk food at eye level, they replace it with a healthy option. And then the junk food is just slightly above. Because it's not restricting them. It's just changing their environment to nudge them towards a certain choice. And this is instead of saying, okay kids, no one can have this, taking it out completely of the stores. Because what do kids like to do? Opposite of what you tell them to do. Especially when it's like, don't do this, that means actually let's do this to the, nth
like
degree.
Encouragement. Don't do this, I gotta do that.
Exactly. The reverse psychology, right? And that is one of the coolest things that I learned in that course.
It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, just applications to real life. Same thing, like even for my Instagram, like I look at what time people are most active, and like I'll post during those times, right? It's like it's not like I'm forcing like spamming them.
How do you actually collect the data for it?
So Instagram is very good with their analytics now. When you have a business, like I have a business account, right?
That's why business account.
Yeah, and it's free to change it. Yeah, you switch over and you get all the analytics. Certain things like Instagram's come very different now than it was before. If you don't make a video, you won't get reach to new people ever. Like it's like, look, if you go on Explore page, how often do people click on the pictures? Very rarely, right? The first thing you click on is the suggested reel right there.
Yeah, and the stories.
And so like videos are really big now. Nobody goes really viral like how they used to do back in the day. TikTok is kind of like is a replacement for that. But yeah, it's really interesting how it's like I like to use it as a tool to for my post my piano, talk about post about the podcast, just repost. I try to use it very casually, but also I also have a love-hate relationship. Like in a personal sense, I would delete Instagram. No matter what. Like I would just not have it.
I've already did half weeks ago.
But the only reason I have it is because I want to post about my music. I want to post about the podcast. But then also is like I want to interact. But then there's a thing of just watching videos, right? And what I do, I have a timer on the app just to let me know how long you've been on. And I feel like once you see, that's also a nudge. That's instead of restricting the app, you just have a reminder. Oh, you've been on for whatever an hour. It's like most people would realize, oh my god, I've been on for an hour. Maybe I should like take a break from scrolling.
That's right.
And something like that. But for me, since it's just me, I can put restrictions on it. So I just put it like an hour 30, it'll shut down. And I have to go, like, I can just delete it whenever I want. But it's just that barrier. You want to create decision points, which makes you, because humans are lazy, right? They try to make everything the least resistance to the solution. So the more decision points you make, the less likely you are to go through with that decision. Right?
Right.
It's like, why do you have this option of select all for something? Like, or instead of just going through each section of for example, reading the terms and conditions. Why do you just why do you press accept all? Because nobody's reading the 15-page document that says, we're stealing your information in the fine print, like TikTok is.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it just makes it easy for them. Same thing, like when you go onto a site and when you, for example, sign up for a membership and there's 4 different options, they always select the one that they want you to select initially. Like it's already auto-selected. It's never the cheapest one. It's never the most expensive. It's always in the middle. Because they say, oh, most people prefer this, which is actually so crazy how that works. Because I can't remember the statistic, but majority of people will always pick the middle option when presented with 3 different sizes, no matter how big the difference is between the sizes. Which is crazy.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So what they did, they had a small, medium, large coffee. And what they essentially, medium was obviously the most popular. So what they did, they added an extra large. What became the most popular? The large. And then they added an extra small. And then the most popular was this medium and the large. Like anything in the middle will always be chosen. And then you see the incremental increase is not scaled evenly. So like a small is 1 cup, medium is scaled up double, and then a large is only a third. But it'll say it there too, and it'll show it on the cup, the size. But most people always pick the middle, which is because people. Once again, humans we default a lot. We just default like, oh, medium is probably the best. That's usually what we go with. But it's so interesting how that happens, and I even catch. Everyone does it, and you even catch yourself doing it. Like when I catch myself doing it, I'm like, wow, maybe I should think a little bit about this.
Yeah, there's always so many little things that in life that I don't really think about it. I just do. I guess that's why they call it behavioral. Before you even mentioned it, I didn't even realize that I have the behavior of getting like large coffees in the mornings instead of like medium one, not small one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just choose the middles.
Yeah, because that's what everyone does, right? And or they'll do they'll do something else to try to get you to the large. They'll make the scaling really small. So the small is $2 for a fry, medium is $3, and then the large is $3.50. So it's like, oh my god, only 50 cents for, double the amount of fries. It makes it seem like, oh wow, it's such a great deal. So I might as well get the fries, the big fries. But then you realize like, you didn't need to. You're not gonna eat those fries. If you just wanted the medium, you weren't gonna eat that much anyway.
Right.
That's what they got rid of that thing with the supersize me in the States. Because they would have the large and they'd have the supersized version, which is so much. It was a minimal upgrade for like a ridiculous amount of food, and people were going nuts. Like, the obesity rate was skyrocketing. It's still really bad here, especially in America and Canada. It's getting worse too, but it's pretty crazy how you can just influence people with such a small thing. It makes a huge change. And it kind of gives you perspective on like everything you do. Like even the smallest influence can make a big splash, Like, and I feel like that's something you can apply to everything. It's like working on something every day, little by little, can make a huge difference in a certain amount of time. Versus, like I like to use the gym, for example. It's better to go consistent 20, 30 minutes a day for 5 days a week versus 3 hours one day you kill yourself in the gym, you're like super sore, then you just don't work out for the next 4 days because you're so sore. Right? If you want to actually make a difference, you have to be consistent with the small little things,
Right. And just adding on to that, my math teacher in my middle school had a really nice metaphor for the little influences that makes big change. That's do 1% better every day compared to do 1% worse every day. You basically take 1.01 compounded for whatever 30 or 40, and then can really see that compound interest,
Exactly.
whatever compound effects are happening. While the 99 compounding every single time it's got smaller and smaller.
Geometric functions.
It's just like something like this.
Exponential function.
Yeah. Getting a huge
all the math
difference effect.
all the math people are like, oh my god, and everyone else is like, please stop talking about math.
I think that's the little things that I think that's a really grand scale of life, or how businesses using little influences that make like some impacts for the operations.
Yeah.
And also apply to our life as well. One of the book is Atomic Habits. It's all about
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah,
actually.
it's really how to developing good habits and then to break bad ones. And then habits it's more of like a micro things that for us that it's a little influences, little thing that's make a huge impacts long way down the road.
Yeah. Especially with the whole discipline thing. Because
Discipline.
discipline is the essential thing to life, right? Without discipline, you cannot survive as a human being, right? And yeah, one thing I've been glad, like when I was young, my parents like put me in martial arts. That gave me discipline in many different areas. Of course, I'm lazy sometimes, like everyone else, but for certain things, I'll never not do. And I also have that voice in my head that's like, you don't have any excuse, you just do it. And then I keep on hearing this, like every time I used to, like during this semester, I would have this thought in my head every time I wake up in the morning. I wouldn't even have it written down anywhere. For some reason, I just had this feeling. It's like, don't let laziness be the reason why you fail. Because that's literally that's the most regret you'll ever feel. It's like, man, I could have done this more. I could have studied this more. The only, when you feel fulfilled on something is when you put your all into it, or as much as you possibly can. And you get what you get. Doesn't matter. It's like, if you work so hard on studying for a test and you still get like, I don't know, like a 60, it's like, at least
that happens with every econ.
That's literally every econ exam, unless you're just built different for economics. But yeah, God, those things are taking my marks.
The first year, wow.
Oh God, first year was so bad. We made it in though. We made it into Rotman Commerce. Even second year wasn't the best for me, but 204,
204, 20s. Yeah, those things are.
Yeah.
They're like.
Thank God this year you only have to take 2 half years. Oh my God. But yeah. Anyway, but yeah, that discipline kind of. It's like that little voice in your head that just keeps you going towards something. So like that kind of mentality helped me, especially because we have so many distractions now.
I actually hold a completely different perspective than you, because after I was a person that trying really hard on my disciplines, and I went to a military school when I was a kid because my dad's put me there for like 3-4 years, and that gave me a good discipline as well. But lately, I have consulted my learning strategists and then reading books as well, and more and more evidence suggesting that I don't have an argument for that yet. It's in my bookshelf.
Yeah.
There's a book called Laziness Doesn't Exist.
Okay.
It's really written by a really famous author. I haven't read it yet, so it's
he will read it by the time this podcast comes out. He'll be an expert. Write all these books.
My perspective is that laziness and distractions or disciplines, it can be modified in a way it's very easy to follow instead of using sheer willpower, because that's just really really hard on me, and I often get burned out. Just discipline over, and then there's voices become in my mind. I think they call it chatter. That's the term for it.
Mental chatter.
Yeah, mental chatters. I don't know, it's getting negative and negative, like, oh, you shouldn't be doing that, you shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
And then you're the worst kind of person doing this kind of stuff.
We're often our worst critics, of course.
Yeah, worst critic of ourselves. And then I found a way that it's minimizing distraction from the book Atomic Habit as well, is that to create environments. It's so much easier when you turn on your phone, you put your phones or digital device, on a different floor, and then you sit in your rooms and you can just like actually work on something instead of like having my phone nearby every time this message pops out, and I'm looking at the message and then telling myself, oh, well, then I have to go to work again. So you can't just like looking at your phone all the time.
Yeah.
I found, that's
just remove it completely from your, instead of saying willing it not to happen.
I guess it's not completely opposite sides, but it's
just a different way.
Yeah, it's a different
but
way.
I feel like it works together. The most efficient thing is together, right? Because
that's right.
I'm not saying like every scenario you just use discipline to achieve it. Because obviously, like you said, people get burned out, like many people. And using those and just making it easy. Like you got to make it easier you want to make it as easy as possible to be disciplined about something. Why make it so hard for yourself,
Yeah.
Why put the phone right next to your laptop while you're working, Make it easy for yourself. Put it in a different room. So.
And there's such a nice technique that worked for me very well. I consider like working out. I work out a little bit as well, not as much as the jack dudes in the gyms.
He's got a Bowflex like super jacked this pair of dumbbells right there.
I just started working out like not long ago, a year ago. So I'm very, as a beginner phase. I'm new to the workout, and for me, sustainability it mostly comes from like fun. Sometimes I working out at the same time watching Netflix. Yeah. Do something that I, let's say, want to do, watching Netflix, and do something that I also want to do, but I have to do. Like it's one of my goals. I wanted to grow more muscles and then be more fitter, healthier, and most importantly, just very the reason that I work out is actually for very, superstitious reasons. Not superstitious, superficial reasons. I just want to become more attractive.
I think that's literally most people why they. But also, I mean, we could shifting to that. Just we're talking about exercise and how. I feel like it's one thing that I love about what the internet has done. It has made going to the gym so much more acceptable. Makes it. I felt like it's been made easier because before because I worked out in high school because I went to a sports school, right? So I always had So it was our football team was really good. A huge weight room, like squat racks and all this kind of stuff. Nice football field. Well, not the best, but decent football field. And good coaches. That's the most important thing. Really good people.
They definitely make a difference.
Yeah. A good teacher makes a huge difference. But yeah, that whole working out thing, it's just weird because I never used to see a lot of stuff. I felt very niche to me when I was doing it. Guys worked out and stuff, but it wasn't everyone was just getting dieseled. Nowadays, when you go on social media, I find I'm seeing so much more. Just so much more of people lifting, especially a lot of girls. Which I think is a good thing. I feel like it's reduced the amount of barriers to entry for girls going to the gym because I want to lift weights, I'm gonna get bulky, whatever. That used to be the old perspective, right? The average person didn't have the greatest knowledge about fitness, but now it's they realize obviously if you lifted weights and just got bulky, every single guy going to the gym would be jacked, right? They'd be super jacked. It doesn't work like that. Yeah. But I think it's good because I'm sure there's a lot of girls before that wanted to work out, lift weights, but then they're scared of the stigma of I'm gonna look like a guy or whatever, something stupid like that. And now I felt like the barriers are kind of reduced. They're not as self-conscious. I feel like the same thing for guys. So I see a lot of guys, even guys I know, so many guys I know just started working out last year, a couple years ago, that I would never have expected to lift weights.
Yeah, I don't really know the the micro perspective like what makes it happen, but I think more and more people just trying to use their tuition because we pay around like what
Oh
I
my
think
god,
like
we pay so much money.
it's
It's in there, snuck in there.
it's included. So if you use it, then you make it worth. If you don't use it, it's still included there.
Fair, that is fair. You gotta use them incidental health fees.
Incidental fees.
Literally.
Yes.
What do we pay? $200, $300.
Mm-hmm. I think around that for the.
It's not.
flex interest.
Yeah, if you think about it, it's not like cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Like $200 for 3 months. It's like almost $70 a month. $70 a month.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, because it goes over summer too.
Doesn't go through summer.
It doesn't?
It doesn't. You have to be registered for summer courses.
What?
And if you register for summer courses, they charge you
More?
another rounds. Yes, for incidental
Bruh.
fees.
And it's only like a couple months.
Yes.
That's so ridiculous.
Tell
Whatever.
me about it.
They're already paying tens of thousands of dollars. Let's add a couple $100 more. Force them to go to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we also have a dental plan.
Yes.
I didn't even realize that till I was looking. I was looking at because I obviously have we have a dental plan for a family,
Uh-huh.
but it's like I'm looking at the invoice right for last year
Mm-hmm.
when we were paying for this year, and I'm like, what dental? It's like what we had a dental plan this entire time, and there's like these random little fees that you have no idea where your money is going, but
You can get your eye exams and then.
eye exam, yeah, optometrist, like there's like everything is covered. But it's actually really good especially for people who obviously aren't Canadian. Like, if you don't have this coverage,
Oof, that's gonna be tough.
yeah,
That's for me. Like last time when I was in high school, I don't remember that I have my insurance. I still have my high school insurance, but I need to like go through a long process to claim it. So I basically fell down my skateboard, and my arm couldn't really move. I thought I broke my arm, so I went to the hospital to take like X-ray. Boom, $600. One X-ray and some bandage, $600, and then have to like take a couple hours just fill in the form like for reimbursements. At that time, it's like it's gonna be really tough without insurance for international students.
Yeah, because like obviously Canadians, we get it with we have universal health care here if you're a Canadian citizen. But then if you're a university citizen, you're kind of screwed. For you fall off your bike or skateboard, it's like it's a good thing that a university provides that. But yeah, I got a little side. I don't know why we just started talking about
and
incidental fees.
Yeah, anyway, like for
something about
back to
working out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Even back to the original topic that the marketing. I'm actually, honestly, I'm not really an expert or very knowledgeable about marketing. I'm doing the thing because just I enjoy spending time with people in the organizations, and the only marketing course that I took is just the one that
250.
250. Yeah, I'm
Great course.
Now I'm taking 250 with this guy, so it's gonna be lots of fun.
Yes. You should take 450 next year.
450.
If you can fit it in.
Yeah, I wish I still have some rooms, bro.
I know. There's so many things, man. Like my next year is just because I'm taking the specialist.
Mm-hmm.
Good thing there's a lot of overlap courses. There's a
true.
couple overlap courses for strategy, innovation, and marketing, like 393.
Yeah.
So I'm taking that. It'll count for both.
Mm-hmm.
Or there's a different course, 459, I think actually. But yeah, it's what were we talking about? Marketing and working out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, working out is so good, man. It gives you a lot of guys confidence, because like before people they didn't. There's one thing I found very interesting was my instructor Crew Nick. He told me that something like martial art doesn't give you confidence. It just unveils a confidence that you always had.
That's interesting.
It's like you got this from how you were raised, how.
Wow!
Like this is where it really comes from, and I think he gained that perspective because he became a father in the last few years.
So wait. So
Happy birthday, Crew! Today's Crew's birthday. I just realized. But, yeah, happy birthday. He's 40 years old now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, he gave me that perspective, and I was like, you know what? That's a very interesting way to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the whole thing that money changes people, but it actually doesn't change people. It just amplifies who you already are. Right? So like assholes are going to be assholes, even more assholes when they get money.
Mm-hmm. That's. Can you help me understand more about that? Because I was a very shy people, introverted. At least that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Back in into my middle school, I wasn't having a really nice experience from elementary, middle school, even high school, back in my hometown, China, because the teacher was not as good as here, and then sometimes they can become very abusive.
Yeah.
And just under the influence of like the abusive teachers, and it's like shadows that makes me really shy and introverted. I basically don't really talk to people. I spend my whole holidays with computer games, which is really bad. But like, at a certain point, that I just changed. It's the confidence somehow
Came around.
came around, and is that one of the things that's we're born with? I was born with under the influence of culture, the environment I was in. It's make me very low confidence people, and also actually a lot of like other teachers commented me that, oh, you're not a very confident boy or whatever that was.
That's so mean. That's like the most Asian teacher thing.
Yeah.
It's like first we're gonna verbally abuse you, then we're gonna see you outside of class and be like, wow, you're not very confident. Gee, I wonder why. Maybe because you abuse me every day in class. It's like, you're stupid, do more homework. It's like, maybe that's why, man. I don't know.
Yeah, and the thing just like turned around when I get into university. I become more of an extrovert and more confident as well.
It's good.
So how does that like connect to the thing that you were saying?
I think what I would take that and interpret it as everyone has a capacity to be confident. It doesn't come from something else. It's just something, you use another thing to reveal it, to uncover it within yourself. For me, that was martial art. When I was young, I was still shy, but I was never worried about I wasn't intimidated by people in that way, and the way I carried myself was different. Same thing for people happens in the gym, right? Because there's a difference between confidence and ego. Big difference.
Yes, confident. There's a very fine line between confidence and arrogance.
Exactly. Because there's also those guys in the gym they're very confident, but then it goes too far to one side and they're like, bro, I'm so jacked, man. I'm so jacked. And their whole personality is that they go to the gym, Like for me, there's all those people in martial arts who are like, man, I could kick anyone's butt. They have a knife, doesn't matter, man. I could do it. They have a gun, I'll stop the bullet. They're just too into themselves. But the thing is, I find the confidence thing comes from something that humbles you. Like in martial art, you get humbled first day you go in there. You get beat up mentally, not physically. Because you're shittier than everyone else. You're the new guy there, and then you literally will get beat up a little bit, right? Mentally and physically in sparring, right? Your first sparring will always be difficult. Same thing your first day in the gym. The next day, when you're super sore, that's the result. That's you getting beat up, right? And it humbles you. But what it teaches you is that, it's I was able to overcome this, and I was able to understand I had to leave my ego at the door before I undergo this activity, and therefore I've gained that confidence to act in a way that accentuates my own confidence that I always had. I just never had the ability to show it, And I think I found that really interesting. I think it's a good thing though that people are working out more. Because first of all, it's just good for you. Yeah.
In very different ways. Not very different, many different ways.
Yes. Many different ways.
Want to wrap up?
Yeah, we can wrap up soon. We're 40 minutes in? Yeah, we can go for a little bit more. What time's your thing? 10 a.m., right? Want to go 10 minutes? We'll do 10 minutes more.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Yeah, working out, dude. Getting jacked. How about this? Since we're filming early in the year, do you have any plans for the new year? or not the new year, this year that we are currently in.
This year.
Any sort of, it doesn't have to be like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Just some sort of general, anything new that you're working on, looking towards.
That's I used to have goals, but nowadays I focus more on improve my processes. I've changed in a lot of different ways. I still have goals that's a general guidance, such as, be an excellent student.
Mm-hmm.
And that could be interpreted in so many different ways and improve my processes, such as, really trying to learn for the knowledge, but not for the marks.
Mm-hmm.
And for now, I don't really have any goals because life is so busy.
Yeah.
If I can get everything under my control, I think it's already perfect. Because I am testing my limits. I think I told you earlier that I have 6 courses and 2 part-time jobs at the same time. And I definitely gonna overwork myself and then get burned out.
Well, at least you know what's happening.
At least I can anticipate that sometimes I can do better at my time management. That's one of the processes as well. Better time management, improving the way I learn. Also, try to go out of my comfort zone and just
Maybe speak up a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Just speak up a little bit.
Speak up a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh right, that's right. We don't have a microphone.
Yeah, the mic for some reason isn't working. I don't have the adapter. But
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, just speak up a bit, because
Yeah. What we're talking about. Yeah, I think
time management. Right?
my goal will be just improve my processes and then have the identities. One of the identity is be an excellent student.
Yeah.
That's the other identity.
Get ridiculously jacked. Get so jacked.
That could be one. And I do enjoy to work out and then rock climbing as well, bouldering.
Yeah. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
we should talk about that too.
It's just around like 5 minutes outside of my place, so it's a really nice way for me to get relaxed and most importantly sleep. I have hard time sleeping after the whole day's work.
Yeah.
Can't help.
You just think you're thinking too much.
Yeah, it can help to look at my phones and at late nights and workouts. Days make me like physically and mentally tired. I might close my eye. Ding dong! Tomorrow morning is already there.
Oh, it's the best. The best is a sleep after exercise.
Yes.
I find, you know what I find really weird is when the times I use my phone the most are when it's after something that's so like intense and I'm already tired. But then I feel like in my body it's like, oh, I just need to get my me time in. So even if it's like counterproductive for me to, it's better for me to just sleep. I'll be like, oh, I gotta at least look at my phone for a little bit. I feel like that's something subconscious. The reason why there must be some sort of psychological reason. I think I saw something about phone usage is like before bed is like a form of procrastination, right? It's like there's a certain term for it, sleep procrastination, something like that, and then there's something else where procrastination is actually a result of something else. It's actually not our fault why we procrastinate. Everyone is prone to procrastination. Some people more than others. But the science around it and like the whole psychology of it is very interesting. I want to look into that as well because I've heard a lot of different things, but I want to.
It would be very interesting if you try to find that specific professor that's like research areas on that, or like psychology professor that's knowledgeable about certain topics. I think the viewers might be more appreciate this sharing those like professional and then very evidence based stuff. Yeah,
for sure. Like I want to get my professor for my behavioral economics course on, Professor Ned Welch. That'll be really cool. I'm probably gonna send him an email.
Yeah, that would be nice. And also the ones that and our new professor for 350. That's a fun guy.
Oh yeah, Professor Luciano.
Yeah,
and he has a podcast too.
Behind Greatness.
Behind Greatness, hosted by Luciano Volpe, our professor for what's the course called again? Marketing management.
Marketing management, but that title sounds a bit boring.
Yes.
But the course is so much interesting.
And amazing. If you guys go to U of T and you're in Rotman, you have to take that course. Even if you're not, I mean, we're talking to most people in there, like not even everyone was talking about marketing like they're doing. And it was very interesting. Literally 80% of the people weren't from Toronto. which is so cool.
Yeah, you can really see the diversity in the classrooms there.
Yeah, especially just from where you come from.
Yeah, and I don't know, connect back to from that experience in the class, connect back to the confidence.
Mm-hmm.
It's just knowing everybody's unique, coming
Yeah.
from a different background, have all those different skill sets. I think that's another way to humble people up as well. At least it humbles me up because everybody else is at
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, you know, my family's got this. You know, I went to this school. I got like 100% in high school. You know, whatever. Yeah, and also the way the class is structured, I kind of, it's
case.
Yeah, very case, and I love the way he's already after the first. I love the way he teaches. It's totally interactive. I mean, we spent the entire first class just introducing ourselves and talking about where we come from.
It's more like watching a comedy show, an interactive comedy show.
He's doing crowd work in class.
You say something.
Hey, where are you from? You like bananas?
What's the population of their cities?
Well, how many cities in China have a population over 1 million?
I think that
like 100 cities. I don't know. Somebody searched it up.
Yeah, and in that class, I think I only had a 5 hour sleep, and so at the end of it, I was kind of a little bit look tired.
Yeah.
Just straight yelling at Willie, are you sleeping in the classroom?
William's gonna drop the class. Look at him. He's so tired.
Yeah. I remember that. It was a fun experience.
Yeah, those kind of professors are the best. I especially love those kind of classes that they're structured like that. Especially for marketing, it is essential, I think, for not just marketing, maybe marketing and, of course, innovation, strategy, like the whole aspect of business. That sort of environment that's created where it's very interactive and no judgment and just bouncing things off each other versus this is our plan, look at this and just follow the plan kind of scenario. That creativity is so important, and that's why businesses succeed, is the ability to adapt to different scenarios and constantly come up with new versions and improvements on their product or reaching different consumers, right? And it's all about that constant motion. Right, there's even products that have been around for so long. Like, how do these things exist for this long? But you realize that they actually have been modified so much. Little things here and there. Ads are different, targeting different people. Design is different. Like, so many things are adjusted as time goes along for that company to succeed and survive, this entire time. Yeah. Take business, guys. It's not a joke. I mean, there's such a different perspective.
Feels like parents. Take business, kids.
Become
oh my God,
an investment banker.
Become a finance bro.
Yeah, become finance bro. Wear your puffy vest with your checkered shirt, slick your hair back, and just snort cocaine on the weekends, alright? After going on Bay Street. Yeah. No, I think we probably wrap it up. My guy here has a meeting in the morning. So, yeah, thank you guys for listening. Thank you again, William, for coming on. This was fun. And if you want to check out William's stuff, where can they follow you, see your work? On Instagram. What's your Instagram again?
My Instagram? My personal Instagram?
Yeah.
I think RCAG is fine.
Yeah. Okay, so if you want to check out any of William's work, it'll be on the Rotman Commerce Arts Group page. I'll link that down below. And you're going to see, periodic posts from different members in the marketing community, or a marketing committee. And, you'll see go check out Will's freaking crazy video that he spent 50 hours doing. All right, guys. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.